You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Hey, yo, boom! What's up, my Comic Crusading fans? It's your host, Al Mega, baby, blasting onto your screens once more, because we're here, kapow slam diving, baby, into the multiverse today with an amazing, unstoppable indie creator. He is a wordsmith wizard, all right? And he's here to drop some truth bombs and his brand new Can't Miss Saga inker, right? Trials of Gods and Men. Ooh. It's live right now over on fundmycomics.com. All right, so I can't wait to dig into this one. Let me tell you folks, because this is cosmic level chaos, divine drama, superhero level stakes, jaw-dropping art. So buckle up as we speak to the man himself, the world builder, the writer, the creative genius himself, JOHN OSACHUK. Hey, what's poppin', homie? How you
doing? I'm great. What an introduction. Thank you so much, Al. I love it. That's big energy.
Bro, it's supposed to be big energy because you're bringing that energy with Inca, man. Bro, it's a beautiful book. I can't wait to give the rundown, show off the trailer and the art. But listen, man, you know what it is, man. Your first time visitor here. So we need our origin story, John, before we need the origin of Inca. We need your story. So let us know where you originally from and the most important question of your life. What is the first thing in fandom that you ever fell in love with?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, to answer the first part of that, I'm from Canada. I grew up in Sudbury, Ontario, which is about 4 hours north of Toronto. And the first thing I fell in love with as a fandom was probably He-Man, Masters of the Universe. I always, for whatever reason, I loved that epic fantasy vibe. And then from there, a lot of cartoons like Thundercats, things like that. Always loved swords and magic more than say like a G.I. Joe with guns and whatnot. So I see a lot, like there's Punisher out there. I always leaned more towards say Thor. Then the first comic series I really collected was the original Infinity Gauntlet saga, the 6 books. And I love that epic scope of story.
Yes, I remember, John, the day I bought that at the local comic shop. Pete, the Lorimer Comics, shout out to Pete, the OGs. That store has been closed, but legendary back in Brooklyn. I remember buying it, and right after school, high school, ran home, like, all right, I'm doing my homework. Bullshit, I needed to read this first issue, man, and I was like in awe of how epic that story was developing to be. It was so fire, man. Definitely made an impact to me. Now you got to tell us over here, John. Now that we know where you're from, your first little love, I need to know something about Inca, all right? I need you to right now give me a quick little elevator pitch of Trials of Gods and Men. But before you get into the Gods and the Men, I need you to sell it like you're pitching a kid's cartoon to a room full of really hyper toddlers.
All right. So, Inca, his name is Kentaro, and he crafts magical tattoos that provide a variety of different protections and powers that create the story that is an epic fantasy. And part of the journey of this book is I'm super ambitious. The scope of my world has been in development for 30 years. I love the big world like that Infinity Gauntlet. So in this first book, I wanted to try to capture death in the pages. So when the character is dying, it's not a spoiler. There's some action in there that'll bring that about. But I want the reader to experience the confusion of what death is for someone. So that's what you're getting in the pages. There's a full story in there, and that's a very small part of it. But I wanted the reader, when they read this book, I want them to say, I have never read anything like this before. It's a complete story, 76 pages. Potential for a future book if I want to go that route.
Okay.
But I designed it as a one-shot that launches the greater world that is Trials of Gods and Men. That's my project that I've been building for over 30 years of my life. And I'm 47.
You make that sound scary as fuck right now. So you know what I want you to do, if you can? Can you narrate that like you're narrating a disaster movie trailer? Like, bro, it's like, what is going on here? It's scaring me.
It is a fantasy horror story.
Yeah, so I mean, you're making it sound like this because I'm kind of feeling the vibe. I'm like, yo, where you going with this, huh? And you're talking about a deep dive of just so many years of your life in this too. Not saying your life is scary, but experience again could scare many people, right? And if you're putting that onto the pages, you know, maybe your life experience might be crazy. So let's talk about cosmic collisions of inspiration behind the saga. Like, were you binging, maybe like watching mythology shows, or did lighting literally strike your drafting table? Like, what happened here?
Well, you know, it's a combination of the life I've lived as well as the inspirations I've found. Now, I'm one of these people that whatever I'm into, I really get into, so it impacts me. So sometimes when I'm writing, I have to put everything away and just focus. Otherwise, whatever I'm ingesting for entertainment can start to leak into what I'm producing. So like I'm big into One Piece, but I have to take a break because I'm into writing. But I love the like One Piece is that huge story, right? It's right up my alley. But creative influences, a major one for me is Tolkien. I love the exploration of a classic good versus evil. I do enjoy gray stories, kind of like how George R.R. Martin in A Song of Ice and Fire, where everybody's bad for the most part, right? And the bad guys always come out on top, it seems, and the honorable hero dies. That's pretty real. If you look at the real world, like if you're good and you put your head up out of the sand too much, likely someone's going to take it off if you're poking it into places where it doesn't belong. But I'm also an optimist, and I love the concept of the hero winning in the end. But on the journey to that victory, the hero has to be put through hell for the reader's entertainment and the audience's entertainment. That's my philosophy when it comes to storytelling. If you want a great character, you have to torture them. You have to make them bleed, almost die, maybe die and come back, like Harry Potter. You know what I mean?
So so basically saying that journey, that pain is where the relevance comes from, and that connection with people, right? Because everybody's broken in a sense, right?
Absolutely, that's exactly right. As you just said, everybody's gone through something, and I feel like we can all connect with suffering on the page. And I mean, you know, maybe it's man, I'm glad that's not happening to me, or that reminds me of something that I experienced myself. And if you can put it out there with honesty and not try to cram other messages into it. Like in my world, it's pure fantasy. So there's no modern day politics or agendas put into it. It's great. Like, there's drama and there's politics in the world, in the greater story.
But of their world.
Exactly right. Exactly right. There's no nonsense. Like that's kind of what's really pushed me away from watching like Marvel movies and things like that.
I get it.
Terrible writing. Like that's the other problem. Like the politics and whatnot. Like that's like original Captain America was political.
It was, but they didn't push it in a sense. You know, I think they made it fun back in the day. Now they just the writers themselves are putting too much of themselves within the writing of that particular character. Please understand that. Yes, you're writing a character, but the character is not you.
Exactly. And you know what
and understand that.
The big challenge is, I think, for modern writers, when you compare it to people like Tolkien and just back in the day, the modern writer, especially the North American writer, they haven't experienced war.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure there's veterans out there. Shout out to the soldiers who do what they do.
Veterans or those that just even served and had some type of
but like Tolkien fought in World War I.
Okay.
He was in the trench warfare. That's where all the inspiration came from.
Yeah, he saw a lot of horrors.
The lands of Mordor are the trenches, right? It's death.
Yeah, baby.
And we have people growing up in California or some other metropolises. They're not experiencing hardship like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of problems, like a lot of poverty and a lot of issues out
and the
there.
streets are rough, though. The streets are rough,
I
John. I mean, I don't know how it is in Canada, but at least, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York in the 90s where it was really kind of insane. Like, I've had older people that I still have around in my life, bless them, that tell me, I can't believe you survived that. I'm like,
sure.
damn. They're like, yo, you really thought I was going to die? They're like, yeah. Because you were involved in some fucked up shit.
Definitely.
Not intentionally, but just, things from the neighborhood. And I don't know how it is in Canada, John.
We have the same problems.
All right.
I would say, like, there's a lot of poverty. There's violence. There's issues. But there's no, out and out war, where you're trying to kill that guy and that guy's trying to kill you. And I mean, on a scope of hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions. Like, I know there's gang violence and there's violence in cities and in the country, wherever, but war is war. That's a whole other experience.
I know, like what we're seeing across the seas, that it's horrible. And I wish the world could be in a better place right now. We need better energy. And, I always tell this to people, and it makes them laugh when I say, I wish for a real, not Project Bluebeam, a real alien invasion. Because that'll unite the world and make them stop their nonsense. Hey, okay, finally, humans unite. All of a sudden, no color, no nothing, right? We're one. And
right.
I was like, damn, would it take something that big for us to finally say, all right, we're brothers and sisters, as we really are, though. But come on, man, stop the nonsense. But anyway, I want to talk into those politics stuff, because, again, we're talking about Inker.
Definitely.
Trials of Gods and Men Saga. I mean, it's just that title. It sounds so powerful, bro. So, what was it about that particular title, Inker? Because, again, I'm thinking tats too. Like, who is this man? So, talk to me before we start showing up the trailer and bringing up the Fund My Comic page. That's right, Fund My Comic is live right now, mi gente. Right there, mira, on the bottom.
And it's storefront, so it's going to stay available.
Want to drop. You heard this, folks? So there's no limit. You get your checks this week, next week. Just make sure you make it rain on my homie over here. All right there from my comment.
Definitely.
It's live now. All right.
Help me retire my wife.
Look at that. He says his wife first and then him. What a man. That's a man right there. America, baby. Love it. Let's bring back that. Exactly, yo.
So the title Inker, I just wanted something that would pop and just very simple. The letters and the color of the title are really inspired by the legendary manga Berserk. If you look at those letters, you'll notice that. The book itself is dedicated to Kentaro Miura, because when I read Berserk for the first time, it changed my perspective on story.
Can I ask, how old were you when you were introduced to that?
Ooh, I was probably like 45, honestly, just a couple of years back.
Wow, so you're already an older, mature reader. Were you always a comic reader, though? Like, or were you an on and off reader?
On and off. I was when I was a kid, and then I really got into novels and reading books. Okay. So that was the kind of
suggest. Talk to me though. Listen, we also want to educate our fans out there. So when you got into novels, stepped out of comics, what were the novelists you got into? I was the lane you got into.
Well, it was fantasy. So like I got into like Forgotten Realms. So R.A. Salvatore, he's written like the Drizzt saga. It's a pretty famous IP in that world. Some Dragonlance, stuff like that. There's one, obviously Lord of the Rings. One author that I really fell in love with, and I was a bit older when I read the first book. I might have been like 18, 19. It's the author's name is Robin Hobb. And the first book was called The Assassin's Apprentice. And it was just a fascinating perspective of this kid who the story starts, I think he's about 5 years old, and he's being led to the castle of the king. And it turns out that he's the bastard son of the prince.
Oh, shit.
So the father, or the daughter's father, rather, who had the affair, takes the kid to the king saying, you feed him. Like I've raised him to the point where he can he's 5. He's capable now, but now he's on your table. So this king his name is King Shrewd because he's very shrewd. All the characters are named in that manner. Like the boy's father's name is Chivalry, which results in him abdicating because that's the chivalrous thing to do. So the kid's name is Fitz Chivalry, and he gets adopted into the king because he's a bastard, but he's also nobility, which gives him the opportunity to access noble society.
And my man got some swagger on him.
Exactly. He's got some serious swagger. But then what happens is the king has a brother, and the brother is like the shadow guy. He works in the background, and he's the assassin. That
motherfucker's like Scar from Lion King.
Yeah, except loyal. Except he's loyal.
Okay, he is. He's a loyal brother.
So he trains up Fitz Chivalry to be an assassin, and nobody sees it coming for the most part because he's a kid. Okay. So he grows up, and by the time he's 13, that's kind of the breadth of that first book is like 5 to 13, and kind of the trials and tribulations of being the black sheep of this family. And obviously there's problems, but I could go into that for hours. And amazing book. And then she's gone on to write probably like 15 books set in that same world. And Fitz Chivalry, I think he's got like 9 books dedicated to him and his story. So it starts out from that young man and then all the way to being older. And the magic system this is something I'm really into. The magic system of that book is very unique. And that's something I've aimed to do with my own writing, because you don't want just classic like fireballs and lightning bolts type thing. So with Inker, I created these like magical tattoo inks and the different rituals and not illustrations, but like designs and how to create these magic tattoos that go on the body.
Whoa, wait a minute. So, wait. Let me just try to kind of navigate it. So, I need a tattoo on this arm.
Yeah.
So you're telling me I could go to a homie and maybe get a tat of something like, I want this to give me some type of strength or the magical weapon. So you mean there's incantations in the ink? How does this work? I'm about to show up the trailer, but my man got me so interested in this. Whoa, what the fuck?
Dude, that's exactly what would happen. So for example, I've got this dragon sleeve on my one arm.
Yo, don't burn me, bro. He's gonna fly here and burn me.
So if this was done by Kentaro the Inker, the dragon, when I say its name or whatever word it would be designed, would be able to leap off my body to fight for me. But what's crazy is that the dragon wouldn't be the size of the dragon on my arm. It would be the size of the dragon in real life.
Oh, damn.
So all of a sudden, there would be this massive dragon.
So basically, that tattoo is just a compressed version of whatever spirit being it holds.
Exactly. And so the book explores kind of the magic behind all of that. And it's just these different creatures, or there's other things they can do. But like, say a creature like a dragon, it would be rendered down into an ink. And then that ink would be tattooed into the flesh of the recipient. And then they will have that power to release this creature.
Okay, that's it. Folks, I know you guys are dying to see the trailer. Yo, check it out. Yo, I want to buy this trailer. Then look, folks, check this out. It's live right now from my comic. Again, it's there. It's to stay. You know what I mean? People have been supporting the book. It's storefront with no end date, with a minimum contribution of $1. I mean, but we're gonna get into all that in a moment. But first, check out the trailer. Check out the artistry. What I was meaning, like, yo, this book looks dope. So check it out. Political flexing by the field marshal. This threat, a catalyst of great change within the triple walls of the 7 districts. Too fast, bro.
Sorry, man.
Too fast.
Its proprietor, Kentaro the Inker, is a master of the art of Irizumi, arcane tattoos. His talent is renowned throughout Cloud Peak. Sometimes it is better to live in anonymity, especially when past demons seek you. It is always the wrong time when they catch you. Oh, I
That
can't hear
pops
you.
so much. That pops so much.
Yeah, it's
Holy
great. That's
shit,
done
bro.
by Pedro Caicedo, and he's a wizard.
Who is your team, man? Like, who is your overall team? Because, dude, the art, the coloring, the lettering, the paneling, holy effing crap, bro. Like, yo, what's up here, bro? Talk
So
to me.
definitely, I want to shout out all those guys. So Pedro Caicedo did that trailer for me. I waited until I had all the pages so that he could put that together. The cover that we're looking at here is done by Skunk Artworks. He's a phenomenal talent out of Germany. He's currently working on his first graphic novel of his own. I think it's in the pines or in the trees. Sorry, Skunk, I forget the name. He's only released a couple of snippets of it. And then the lettering on the cover is also the letter of the book. His name is Dominic Ark. Okay. He's affiliated with 656 Comics, and his brother, Oliver Ark, was my colorist. And Oliver has 20 plus years in the industry. He's got a couple of his own projects in the works right now that are going to be amazing. I have no doubt.
But John, the most important question here is about the promance. How did you even meet these guys? What was that promance like? I mean, did you guys buy them a coffee, wine? Like, what happened?
I used to be on a show. I used to be part of a YouTube channel where we would interview creators, and I just crossed paths with them that way. And cool. Once it was go time on this book, I had a real short list of guys that I wanted to work on this book. And, I sent out the positive vibes and the universe responded. So the one thing I'll add is the first 9 pages and all of the concept art were done by Rich Ayala. He's currently working on Roche Balls 2. I think he's almost done all the pencils. And that is a surreal, cartoony, crazy book. So he did all that stuff for me. And then his life changed. He got married. He got kind of a regular day job. So he just didn't have the time to dedicate to my project while he had his own art and a marriage just starting out and whatnot. But he connected me with Oliver, who did all those colors. And then what's amazing is I had another project in development that I was going to ask Juan Sanabria to do for me. So I just had him hop onto this one. So he knocked off the remaining 69 pages or whatever it was. It's 76 pages in total. And those are my guys. I'll always shout them out, and I have nothing but positive praise for them. Because they're not into all the drama on Twitter and all that nonsense like so many guys are, just trying to get clicks and noticed. They just put in the work and create the best books out there. And I'm so proud to have had them on this project with me because they made this book pop.
So a shout out to the team, because it is a beautiful looking book. But you being the writer, I gotta ask you, what's your favorite character in the saga? Like, which one most surprised even you during writing? Like, you probably didn't figure out, like, I didn't kind of know I wanted to go on this lane with this character. I would assume that may happen as you write someone. Like, like things happen. Like, oh, wait a minute, I got to do this now.
Yeah, it totally did. And he was in the trailer, but his name is Kothon, and he's the devil that lives on Kintaro's back. So it's this devil, or like a Japanese Oni style, like ogre. Ooh. He's been rendered down into ink, and he lives in Kintaro's skin. And when Kintaro's in danger, he can call on Kothon to jump out. And that was in the trailer. You saw that. It was quick, but he was in there. And what's fun about him is that he lives in Kintaro's skin, but he's also in his thoughts. So he's always, like, the Venom movie with Tom Hardy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where the symbiote is always talking to him? Yeah. It's like that. And it's very similar where he's just like, we should just eat these guys. It'll be great. We'll solve the problem. But Kintaro is a monk.
Bro, what's wrong with you?
And Kintaro's like a good guy. Like he's a monk and he's a noble person, super stoic, but he's got this voice. So part of the training of his monastic order is to have the discipline to live with this demon, or sorry, not demon, devil in your skin,
and not listen
and use
to the
it
voice.
Responsibly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because everybody's kind of got a devil inside of them.
Oh,
and
we all do, absolutely. But I'm a good boy. I'm like Kentaro, I guess. And then we listen to my devil, because if I did, I would be in a hell of trouble already.
Exactly. Be like Kentaro.
Bro, John, that needs to be a shirt today. You better make that tonight as an add-on to from my comic. Be like Kentaro. Bro, you have this. We just made it up right now.
We sure did.
Get the t-shirt. Be like Kentaro. Be happy. But again, look at this beautiful art for this dope book that's live now. I mean, look at it. The coloring, everything, yo. And even when I see that skull work, I'm a fan of those old school horror comics, creepy and eerie and the vault, what was that? Tales from the Vault, whatever it was called as well, from Marvel. Like all these genres, and like you really bring me back to that with these type of pages. And then look at the squad. Look at that amazing squad right there.
Oh, and I need to shout out my editor, Daniel P. Riley, helped me out big time.
So how did you find Daniel to edit?
I was just like surfing on Twitter one day, and this one guy shouted him out, and I thought, oh, that's cool. And then I checked out Daniel's site, and he comes out as like a really affordable guy who wants to help people get their stories out. So he's not trying to price gouge you. Like he's not charging nothing. So he's still trying to make a living. But we chatted a little bit. We had I think we talked for 2 hours on our first call. And we were going back and forth about my story. And he's also a writer. And I was like, you know what, bro? I feel really good. Sometimes I just trust the universe. So I said, you're the guy. And it did not, totally paid off. And they couldn't have turned out better, to be honest.
I love it, man. Because again, it is beautiful art. You've seen the trailer, you've seen these covers, man. I want to ask though, what's kind of been the most unexpected lesson that you learned from doing an indie comic in regards to creative process, business, or just plain survival?
Getting it finished. There's just so many boxes you need to check, and obviously promotion's promotion, and that's I'm very patient with myself,
and that's important though. Yeah,
it's very important.
Getting it done is you can't promote something that's not done.
Exactly right, because you might be promoting it, and then something happens, and then you've taken people's money, and you're not going to deliver something. That's the
hey Rob, I think they're talking about you right here. I've been waiting 15 years for Brigade. What's going on?
Jeez.
You laugh. He had to take a sip. He needed to take a shot on that one. Oh my God, Al, don't start no shit. I'm not. I promise. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, it's just the last thing I need to do is the spine of the book. So my letterer / designer Domo, I did a rough one. So I got the.
Oh my God, my man got a rough print. Wait. Hey, look at this self porn right there in his hand.
Let's bring in a page here just for fun.
Oh, dude. Look how pretty that looks. What type of paper you got going on there? That looks beautiful.
I think it's 110 or something like that. I went to the limits of everything just to make the very best book I could.
As you should, man. You want to bring the best product.
So here's Kothon. So that's my favorite character. I love Inker, but Kothon is the dude. And
you know that one image there without the background would make for a dope t-shirt, but on a yellow t-shirt. Keep that in mind.
That's interesting.
Yellow t-shirt with that character, popping off, dead center, just that one image. Trust me right there. You're gonna have a hot seller.
It's like a kind of flash color combination.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
But it is, man. Come on, man. Eye candy, baby. Eye candy. You got to bring it, baby. Again, I'm happy. That bring that up again. Let me see the side of that spine as well. Because people what they're going to be happy. Look at that. Oh, and look at the way you did it, yo. People could actually don't have to turn their head. They could read it down.
That's right.
That's different. Most people don't do that.
So that's
sideways.
So this hardcover
like
is going to be called the Legends Edition, because everybody who gets it, there's only 300. So you're like the 300 Spartans of Thermopylae,
What?
and you will live on forever.
300. Ooh,
Yeah.
only 300. Folks, if you guys are into exclusivity, oh my God.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
What it is. You just tease the shit out of me. Like, I'm going to need one of these, bro. You know, but for me, I got to meet you in person because I want to get it signed and shake your hand. You know, I mean, are you doing any cons up out there in Canada, you know, for our Canadian fans?
We are. Part of my strategy is actually tattoo conventions.
Oh, because I mean, that is a tattoo. That joint right there. Did you get that yet as a tattoo anywhere? Or you can't show it on screen?
No, I don't have anything from the book tattooed on
I was about to say you can't show it on screen, folks. That's what he's trying to say.
But there's going to be a Comic-Con coming up, but I don't think it'll be a bit of a rush. I want to do things right. But there's also a manga convention in Winnipeg in the wintertime that I'll probably hit that up first. Nice. Then we have 3 tattoo conventions in the city, and Winnipeg is really my test ground to just make sure everything is good. Then once things are running smoothly, I'm going to start rolling out, because my next project is a novel, and it's a companion story to Inker.
Say word. Oh, a companion story.
Yeah, so it's wait a minute. It's totally different story.
I love this.
And it's set in the same world, so it's still Trials of Gods and Men, but it takes place at the same time as Inker, and there'll be a bit of crossover so that the people who read the graphic novel and purchase the graphic novel, they'll see it, and it's like a bit more than even Easter eggs, but it's not the Inker story.
I just want to say that I really dig that idea, because Titan Comics is kind of doing the same with the Conan run right now. They have the Conan comics, they have Savage Sword, but they've had actual tie-in novels to the comic book stories.
Cool.
So I like to see that, because yes, folks, you know, sometimes we don't need, not no disrespect to my artists, I love all of you, but sometimes, you know, we need to build our imaginations, just read the words and let our imaginations get built and build our own imagery as to what we think is going on, you know? And then when it gets translated to print, that's when the arguments start.
Exactly.
But good. All good, though, because, again, that means you loved it, you were engaged, and you felt something. Because, again, you're not going to argue if you don't feel something. So, again, you know, I appreciate sometimes the arguments. You know, fandom is because you love it, and you want to see the best for it. So sometimes it doesn't come across the right way, you know. That's why sometimes it's language, mi gente, please. But you know, let's have fun. Let's respect one another, because this fandom is awesome. My man is doing something dope here with Inker, and you know he's on Fun My Comic, and it's an open John. So you know you could just order it, get there. You already saw a sample of that book, man. So is it ready to start mailing now, or how soon? What are we talking about?
I'm sending in the order for my 300 copies within a week. I'm waiting on my designer to give me that spine, because like I can get into Adobe a little bit and mess around, but I want it to be polished, and that's not my strength. I'm a world builder and a writer. I like in the book I did all the paneling layouts, so that was fun. That was a really good experience. And
bro, I love every panel I saw, because again I that panel usage, that panel work is supposed to be cinematography, right? It's supposed to be eye candy. You're supposed to keep my eye moving, where I kind of see movement, even though there's not movement there. But I'm supposed to imagine between, as my eyes cross, that there's this movement forward progression. And I think you've done a great job with that. That allows me to kind of really see the book in a cinematic way, you know, cartoon or whatever, you know, like I
thank you.
Good job. Good job.
I really enjoyed the process.
Yeah, I just want to say, people don't sleep on my panelists, the people that do that type of work, man. That shit is not easy either. No,
it's not. And it really is like a movie. Because I did some, I wrote a script for a TV show pilot episode. And that's actually being converted into the novel. And doing a script is just like doing a graphic novel, except you design like the panel layout. But otherwise, like it's just like doing like camera shots. And it was a really interesting experience. And my favorite part of it was allowing my artists freedom to produce it how they envisioned it, so that there was a mutual creative like muse that we were both tapping into. So I didn't have strict instructions. Like there was like colors and whatnot that I had to stick to for consistency, but there was a lot of it where I just gave a very brief description and said, okay, do this. Like my the guy you had up, like the dreadlocked big man. My one description was take like an NFL lineman and mush him with Lil Wayne.
My man right here.
Yeah, that guy. Because I love Lil Wayne, and I just wanted to make him a giant.
Oh yeah, man. Lil Wayne is a small dude. So I love, hey, Lil Wayne, you heard right here. You better start making some tracks with my man right here.
Hell yeah.
Make some Inca tracks, bro. Make a soundtrack right now, bro. For real.
That would be sick.
I mean, he did drop that album this year. I mean, any thoughts on it?
I haven't listened to his most recent stuff.
Oh no, I mean, I stay up to date. You know, I think his album was cool. I think thus far, Clips has probably, well, between Clips and Freddie Gibbs, probably got one of the best albums of the year. No disrespect to my man Raekwon, you know, coming back. You know, that's that Wu-Tang sound.
Sure.
And then Ghostface is dropping this Friday.
Oh, that's cool.
That. So we're getting back kind of that storytelling rap, that coke rap, that drug dealer rap, you know, which I think is much better than that mumble rap and other stuff that's out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there are some exceptions to it that are good, but not all of them are great. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, art is so subjective. Like, even with this book, there's gonna be a lot of people that don't get it, and there's gonna be people that don't like it. But I'm confident that the people who do get it are going to read it 10 times, and they're going to pull something new out of it every time they read it. And as the story progresses, they're going to lose their mind, because there's so much packed into this book that is stories down the road that the payoff is going to be great.
It is. My man is selling. He's telling you what it is. He needs to be a part of the Inca universe, the Osachuk universe. You need to make this happen. Like right now, folks, you know how simple you make this happen? You support the project. You go to fundmycomic.com, check out Anchor, Trials of Gods and Men Saga, and make it rain right now. And you get it, you know, you heard my man, 300 exclusive books. So you're into collectivity and exclusivity. I mean, this is probably one of those projects for you. It's a fantasy, some fun stuff. And again, just OG story with none of the bullshit that we're dealing with in the real world. This is the type of stuff for you. All right, you hear me? So make it happen right now. All right. Now, my brother, finally, what's next for Inca though? I mean, these 300 sell out. Are we really gonna get another saga? Are we getting a spin-off? Are we gonna get a podcast exclusive side quest? Are you gonna start making your own D&D cards and become a dungeon master in the Inca universe? Like, what's going on?
So here's the great thing is I'm really open to collaborating with different creators in different capacities. Ooh. So there's definitely going to be some merch, and I want to make some t-shirts with unique designs outside of the book. There's definitely going to be hats and cards, but obviously all of that takes money, because I'm not going to ask someone to do something for free. So as the copies of the hardcover are sold, we're going to get moving on all those. And then there's also going to be an order placed for softcover books, and those will be at a more affordable price for people. It's going to be the same length, but softcover. And yeah, then as far as sequels, I've got a concept. There's also a prequel concept, but what I'm really digging into now is the companion book, which is, it's like, do you know King Lear by Shakespeare?
Yes.
So it's a family drama, but it's dark as hell. Anchor is dark, but I would say like Anchor would be like on the teen manga shelf in the bookstore. Okay. This next book, but it's a novel, it's not on the teen shelf. This is going to be dark as hell, and there's no holding back. For Anchor, I kept the language tame. The violence is off the hook. It's crazy.
So my
But
man, you say you're gonna be right next to Stephen King on the shelf, kind of right there.
sure.
Let's go, baby.
And
Sorry,
yeah,
Stephen. My man's about to beat your ass.
definitely. My real goal is to complete my saga before George R.R. Martin completes the Song of Ice and Fire, and I feel like I'm probably going to do it. But
Yes,
after that, I've got a couple of graphic novel concepts, but the greater story that I'm telling, the Trials of Gods and Men, is going to be produced in the novel format, because it's just cost prohibitive to try to get it done as a graphic novel or as like a film, obviously. But the hope is when I finish the next novel and it starts to sell, I'll be able to bring on a team of artists and release it as a series. But it's going to be a big book, so it'll probably be like 12 graphic novels or something.
Oh, folks, you hear this? Folks,
so there's plans.
Indie project, man. See, my man got a roadmap. He got everything laid out. All he needs is the support of this amazing independent comic book community. Make these stories continue coming. This is what it is. This is the future right here. Again, OG property, OG IP. Let me use that language, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, non-real world is just stuff to actually entertain you. You feel
That's
me?
right.
And it's live right now. So make it happen, folks. OG stuff. This is kind of things that comics are supposed to be about. New things, new concepts, new characters, and new stories. And thank you, John, for doing that. Being brave and bold enough to kind of share those stories with us. You know what I mean? Because I may do this for podcasts, but I'm a fan first. So I'm always happy to kind of dig in and understand where your mind is at. And, you know, I see the lane and I salute you and all these other creators that are out there just sharing their stories and being brave enough to put it out there for us to be entertained. You rock, bro.
My pleasure.
And now, this is it. Last one.
Okay.
You know, you doing your game out here and you're running it. You're pimping, right? Let them know how they could also pimp out there and get their stories out there. You know, what advice you have for them up and comers?
Do the work. If you want to write a story, write it. If you don't know how to write a story, learn how to write a story. That was a big struggle for me. I couldn't produce a story to the level I wanted for a long time. And then I just kind of had this epiphany moment where I went, I actually don't know how to craft a story. And it's a lot like carpentry, where like you don't know how to build a house, but if you go out and learn, you're going to figure it out. Now, you may not build the Eiffel Tower, but you can build a cabin. So I've spent the last decade honing my skills as a storyteller to be able to produce the scope of story in Inker that I wanted to do, because I didn't want to disappoint myself with something that was not done well. And the scope of story that the Trials of Gods and Men is, it took me 30 years to get to the point where I'm actually ready to release it into the world.
It's a share. Look at 30 years. You hear this? Wow.
So now I know how to tell a story, and especially in the scope that I want to, and in the heroes that I want to portray, and the villains that I want to have terrorize the reader so that they wake up in a cold sweat because they're scared this guy's going to get them. And, you know, you got to be patient. Don't be afraid to admit that you don't know anything. You got to grind. You got to hustle, because doing this is not easy. I mean, sure, someone could get AI and say, tell me a story, and then AI will give them a story, but that's not what creators do. You want to create
has no
something.
soul, baby.
No kidding. You just gotta do the work and believe that you will get it done, and recognize that starting it and having that dream is good, but there's true success in completing it. And it's not about the finances. You have to ignore all that. Don't worry about making $1 million, trying to be the next J.K. Rowling or whatever it is. Just completing the project. And even a page. Like, I remember getting pages in, or when I got my cover done by Skunk, it's right there hanging behind me. That was major for me. But there was still more work. And now I'm waiting on the spine of the book. And a graphic novel is expensive. Unless you're an artist, then obviously you're saving costs because you don't need to commission all those guys. But if you want to tell a story, you just have to have faith in yourself. And like, Some people just want to sit down and write right off the top of their head. Good luck. Because it's hard. Unless you're a true master and you know how, that's hard as heck. But for me, I'm an outliner. Like my outline of my upcoming novel is 30 pages. That's just the outline. But I know every beat. And then I line up all the story arcs so that they end at the appropriate time, because I want to have a story that punches you in the face and leaves you going, oh my God, like I did not see that coming.
Let me ask you now, in that process, I like that you said that. Yeah, another question, sorry. Again,
it's all good.
You get in my mind. So you're doing an outline, but when you do that outline, are you doing sections in the outline that are going to be relatable to the particular chapter you're going to write in the book? How do you do that outline?
So my outline has has phases. I have like a general rough what's going to happen in the story and like who's in it, the settings of where things will likely occur. But then the outline I have is a chapter by chapter breakdown, which includes the point of view character that the chapter is exploring. So this book that I'm working on has 3 point of view characters, and it's essentially King Lear's 3 sons. Those are the characters who have the view on the world. Because then you got to figure out, well, I know I want to have the father in a scene, but which son is going to witness it so that it makes sense? Because sometimes it doesn't make sense if you just slap the wrong kid in there. You're like, well, why is that kid at the meeting? It doesn't make sense that he would take a kid, but he would take his oldest son because the oldest son is the heir. But you don't take the youngest to that meeting. So, and to be fair, I've been working on the story for a long time. So when I sit down to outline, I have so much experience already thinking about the story that it comes out quite quickly. If you're coming out with a new idea, it might even be easier because you're gonna figure out the beginning. And then for me, my goal is to have the beginning start as close to the action as possible, because you don't want to just wander around in the world. There's no need for that. There's time in the middle to wander. In the beginning, it's go time. You got to open up hard.
With some action,
exactly right. Yeah. And for me, and I know there's a lot of differing opinions, just like everything, of how to tell a story, but I need to know the end. Yeah. Because once you have that end, and now you have this banger of a beginning figured out, and obviously you want the end to hit hard, then you just fill it up, and it doesn't matter how much.
Like, how do we get here from there?
Exactly. From there. It's like you're driving from New York to LA. Doesn't matter if you have to go all the way down to Florida, then you're across to Texas, and now you got to zip up to Montana, and then like you got to stop in Seattle, and then get to LA, and then you get to LA and find out that end is actually moved over to Atlanta. You're chasing it. You're going to get there. But it's great because you have all these adventures and conflicts and tension built up through the book, but you have that end in sight. And now I have one writing teacher who I am the opposite of. He starts off and just goes. He doesn't know the ending. He doesn't know anything. And he swears by it. He believes that that's the true creative process. So I've spun
wait. You're telling me my man dives in and like he surprises himself how it will end.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
That's crazy.
Now he's an Academy Award winning guy too.
That's crazy.
So his method works. But that's what my draft is. My outline is effectively my first draft, because then I just expand each chapter.
Okay.
Right? And like to craft a story without, especially in like an epic fantasy, I think you need an outline. If you're just doing a slice of life, like walking around New York City, and you live in New York City and you know New York City, you can write that story. And it's a love story.
I could definitely do that story. I'll tell you that much. It might be fun, hilarious, troublesome, and but it won't be sad. It won't no sadness in mine. I'll tell you that much. It's always funny. Good. I always wind up on some funny ass shit when I go to New York. Don't ask me why. It just happens. It just does.
Well, it's a big city.
The last time I wind up my homegirl, all she had to do was eat a Nutter Butter, winds up throwing up. We passed out on the car, as she rested. But we were only basically like 20 feet away from my parents' crib where we could just No one could go up 4 flights of stairs apparently under those conditions.
Jeepers.
It's New York, yeah. I love it. Yo, John, you're the man, bro. I think the energy, I think the book, I think the advice, man, and the lane on how you think, that creative flow, it's really dope, man. I want to definitely bring you back and get a whole lot more into that very creative side, and have some on your team too, because your team is amazing. The book looks good. And folks, look how simple it is. Support my man's project right here. Fund my comic right now. Anchor, Trials of Gods and Men Saga. And again, it is an ongoing, John. It's live now. But once those 300 are gone, don't be complaining.
Yeah, soft cover only then.
Yeah, you want those hard covers. That's what, I'm not saying the soft covers are not going to look sexy. They will. Oh, my God. Yeah,
that's what
baby.
you want. You want to be able to
baby,
knock on it.
That's what she said, baby. WEPA. There we go. and with that, also follow my homie on Instagram at Pick Up the Sword Studio. All right. And also on YouTube, same John. What happens on the YouTube? And do you go live often? Let them know.
I don't. I'm getting the YouTube up and rolling now that summer's almost over, because I got 2 little kids. So I've been a stay-at-home dad.
Darn kids get in the way of fun, I know.
they're their own fun, but it's been tough to focus.
I'm a parent.
And so I've been picking up the Instagram a bit more, getting that going, and I'm looking at doing kind of similar to what you do, where I get to talk to creators of different art forms and stuff like that, and really start connecting and networking, and just sharing the trials of gods and men with people.
Networking is one of the most important tools in the toolbox, folks. So don't be shy. Get your work out there. Talk, collaborate, and not even if we collaborate, at least just meet, because you never know where that could lead to one day.
It's like a pretty girl. Now. Say hello.
You never know. Yeah, that's where, bro? What was that? We gotta go fit it over here. Look at my man. Like, you say hi.
That's all you gotta do.
Hello.
You may just meet your wife.
Wait. You see though, when you reference the word hello now, you have 2 trains of thought. We have the old school that goes and defers to Lionel Richie, and then we have those that defer to Adele. All right, which hello are you talking about, bro?
Maybe it's both.
There we go. I love it, John. You are the man. Folks, support the project, support indie, support like my man over here, Big John, and the Osachuk universe, baby. It's gonna be happening, it's gonna be popping, and it's live now. Anchor, baby, Comic Crusaders, the Megaverse as well, through Comic Crew, Undercover Capes, and all that stuff. Make it happen. Hasta la próxima. Thank you for your support. WEPA! Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.